ESG, that's a new corporate buzzword, but we have been working with it since decades. I've been working with ESG on the government level at each and every posting which I had held in my life.
Hello and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders brought to you by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host Tanayol, and today we're joined by someone whose career in public service is as inspiring as it is impactful. She's someone who's worn many hats, from circle officer to principal secretary of an autonomous council, director of border affairs to managing director of a development corporation. And yet, what stands out most is the consistency of purpose to lead with integrity and serve with intent. Miss Anuradha Adhikari Sarma, it's a real pleasure having you with us here today, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Tanay. I'm also glad to be a part of this conversation.
Ma'am, we've truly been looking forward to this one because your journey through the administrative framework of Assam is not just a story of roles and ranks. It's a masterclass in leadership, resilience, and public trust. And I know our audience, especially those in governance and civic roles, are going to take away something valuable from this conversation.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Yes, I am also glad to be a part of this conversation. And I also want to, hope to share some of my experiences, which I've gathered in my professional journey so far. So thank you so much.
Lovely, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we take a deep dive into the deeper layers of your work and leadership, I'd love for you to take us back a bit. Could you please tell us in your own words, how did this journey begin for you? Like, what did the path look like? And what were some of the defining moments along the way?
Yeah, so my journey into the civil service, it began when I was still a student. So I was doing my graduation at that time. And here I have to thank my father, actually, who actually instilled in me the idea of becoming a civil servant. So he used to bring home, magazines like Competition Success Review, so which I used to read, and I used to develop, a liking for the civil services. So after my graduation exams were over, he got me enrolled in a coaching class. That was a free government-sponsored coaching class, actually, at that time. So when I did this coaching class to appear for the civil service, I developed a fascination, of appearing, the fascination of appearing in the exams, and the idea of civil service as a career option that gradually came to me, I think, when I joined this course. So when I was still doing my post-graduation at the time, I appeared for the exam. And by God's grace, I came out successful in the first attempt itself with rank 3 in the merit list. So overnight, yeah, it just happened, so quite suddenly that, from a student, I became an officer. So then I also, here also, I like to, share, my first day in office. So when I joined, it was on the outskirts. It was a Tehsildar's office. So, it was on the outskirts of the city. So when I joined there, I found there was a group of, elderly people were there. So in fact, when I joined, then I found that they'd come to see me, actually. They come to wish me on my first day. And also they were they were curious to see this, I was quite young at the time. So they wanted to see who is this young girl who is coming as an officer, I suppose. And then they started, talking to me and started opening about their problems, how they expected me to solve them. And I think that day I realized the gravity of the chair, which I was sitting. I realized that there are certain aspirations of the people, how they pin their hopes to that particular person who's sitting on the chair, and how, they expect you to solve their problems. So it was a very overwhelming, moment for me at that time. And I think then began, my journey, into the actually the real world.
Yeah, that would have been a totally new experience going to a small town as this officer and then facing so many people. Ma'am, your time with the Tiwa Autonomous Council must have been such a unique experience, balancing governance with deep rooted cultural identity. It's not just a policy, it's people, tradition, and trust. Ma'am, how do you navigate that space and build genuine connection with the local communities while fulfilling your administrative role?
I think, during my entire, professional career, I held different positions at different times. And during a certain stint, actually, I used to have 2, 3 positions at the same time. So when I was, as additional deputy commissioner of a certain district, I was also posted as Principal Secretary of Tiwa Autonomous Council. So this council area, it fell within that district, and they were mostly ST people, that is the scheduled tribes people were there. So as additional deputy commissioner, I was looking after the development of the district. I was looking after, child development. I was looking after health. So it was easier for me, to penetrate into this, tribal council area. And I was doing the same thing out there. I was looking after the development. I was looking at the infrastructure of the development of the region, like, building roads, like building community halls. Then we were looking after the, health of the women out there, the health of the children out there. And this particular council area is quite nearby the city, it's not very far off. So the people there are quite educated. And I, as such, I did not find such resistance as such. They were very open to the changes, we wish to bring to them. And I think they also realized that actually we wanted to preserve their culture at the same time. And at the same time, we wanted to uplift them also economically. So here also I'd like to share one thing. This particular, Tiwa Council people, they have a fair annually they have a fair. There's a huge fair, and they practice the barter system even now in that fair. So lots of people from the urban areas, they come and they witness this fair. It's a very huge fair at that time. It's really, I think, in the month of January every year. So the people, they come there, they showcase their, handloom products, they showcase their cuisines out there. And with time, it has become such, it has become so popular that today in the city areas, you will find some of the cuisines in the local restaurants. You'll find the handloom products like the scarves, which they weave. You'll find them in the local emporiums in the city. So I think that is a big thing, which, the administration, we as the, administration, we have tried to, uplift the people economically. And it has been a, fulfilling experience for me. Yeah.
Very true, ma'am. I think making someone self-independent is a very fulfilling experience, and you did that at such a large scale. Ma'am, I have to say, when I came across the fact that you received the President of India's medal for your role in the 1996 census, it genuinely made me pause. That's no ordinary achievement. It speaks to a level of commitment and coordination that's hard to put into words. Could you please take us into that moment? What did it take to lead through something so complex?
Yes, that was a very emotional moment for me. When I came to know that I was also one of the recipients of the President's Award for Outstanding Service during Census 1996. This was very early in my career, so it was, quite emotional for me even today. And Census, as you know, is a vast, extensive exercise. But when I look back, I had a fabulous team under me. I had 6 teams under me. There were 5 members in each team, and there were ladies also, there were gents also, and there were mostly teachers. And even today, I dedicate my award to my team members, because it was because of my team members that I got this award. They work so hard, they work so sincerely, and it's a vast exercise. They have to go house to house, they have to go door to door to collect the data. And sometimes maybe twice, maybe sometimes thrice, braving the weather conditions of the, and these people, they did not complain at all. They worked so hard. And we had to collect the data of the, homeless people. As for that, we had to go to the railway station at 12 in the midnight. And my entire team was with me throughout. So I know, even today, I dedicate my award to my team members. I had fabulous team. I had great co-workers, I had great bosses. And when I look back, that team spirit which we had during that census operation, it stayed with me throughout. You are what you are because of your team members. And even today, I look back with census, with lots of affection. That was one of the best experiences I had in my entire career.
Ma'am, it's lovely and a big learning for our audience to see that the biggest challenge is if the team is together and they turn out well, can be one of the best moments for anybody in their career. Ma'am, having served across decades in public administration, you've been part of a generation that didn't just witness change, you helped shape it, especially when it comes to women taking on leadership roles in civil services. It couldn't have been easy stepping into rooms where not many look like you, but yet you led with conviction. Ma'am, what has that evolution looked like through the years? Not just the progress we celebrate, but the quiet barriers that still need breaking.
Yes, yes, I must admit that there were barriers at the time. I will say during the initial stages of my career, I had, to together with my lady colleagues, we had to face certain barriers, not because of certain other things, but because maybe there were some skeptical persons, like, my seniors, some of my seniors, I will not say all, someone who were skeptical about how, we were going to accomplish a certain assignment that was given, whether we were able to complete it on time, or whether we were able to deliver the goods as per expectation. So that was really the initial stage. So we were given, like soft, assignments, not very hard. But later on, actually, I was working in the field much more than I was working in the boardrooms or in the meetings. So when we were working in the field, when I was able to deliver the goods as per expectation and as good as my male counterparts, I think they changed the perception about me. So during the later years, I did not, find such, barriers as such. So you were officers at that time, there was no gender biases or anything of that sort. So I think with your hard work, with the kind of attitude which you approach a particular project, so you'll be able to make these barriers at all. So I don't think this is much of a problem at all.
That's a really nice spirit to have, ma'am. Ma'am, with everything you've accomplished across departments, communities, and leadership roles, I can't help but wonder what's next. So, what does the road ahead look like for you? Are there areas you're still passionate to explore, perhaps even stepping into more strategic, boardroom level roles where your insight could guide policy or governance on a broader scale?
So when I look back, I've completed 30 years of my, professional life. It's been a long, long journey and quite a fulfilling journey, of course. So today, actually, at this point, I'd like to use my expertise, which I have, built up over the years, my experiences in different fields, which I have and which I built up the experiences. So these experiences I like to use in the boardroom to make, policy decisions, sound policy decisions, strategic policy decisions, which would help in the, greater outcome of the nation. So right now, actually, that is, what I am thinking at right now. And as I have executed the government policies, quite satisfactorily. So I think my role in the boardroom, I'm also looking forward to my role in the boardroom, where, I can help in making the sound policy decisions so that we can implement them on the field, as good as I had done on my with my government policies.
That'll be a very good help, to everybody. Ma'am, one thing that keeps coming up in leadership circles today, and rightly so, is ESG. And while it's often discussed in corporate boardrooms, I genuinely believe it has deep roots in public administration too. Given your hands on experience, how do you see ESG principles being meaningfully integrated into the way government works, especially at the ground level in areas like district planning, education, or public health?
Yes, ESG, that's a new corporate buzzword, but we have been working with it since decades. I've been working with ESG on the government level at each and every posting which I had held in my life. So when we are trying to implement a certain policy, government policy on the ground, we look at the environmental factors as well as the social factors. And whether that particular, like when I mentioned the Tiwa Council area, where we wanted to, take up the development works of the people in consultation with the people, in consultation with the social ideologies of the people. We did not want to disturb them, actually. We did not want to disturb their cultural ideologies or the cultural setup. And we wanted to implement our decisions, our plans, our programs as according to those people living in this particular area. So these ESG principles we have incorporated in each and every government policies, and we've been successfully implementing them. And on a personal level also, since I've been doing this on a professional level at all times, we are also doing, I along with my husband, where we are actually doing ESG, trying to do ESG actually on a particular community that is quite nearby to the city area. They live in the hills. They are a tribal community. So we are trying to uplift them. We are trying to uplift them. We are trying to teach them Eri Muga silk, rearing. So Eri Muga silk, as you know, it's a ahimsa silk, So they learn the environmental aspect also as well. We don't kill the worm. The silk is woven from the cocoon itself. So we are trying to teach the woman folk how to weave the silk out of the cocoon. We're trying to export, market their products to the urban areas. At the same time, you are looking after the health of the children, the health of the mothers, actually. And we are trying to, uplink this particular community as well. So ESG is quite embedded, I think, in our lives, in my professional life as well as in my personal life as such.
And that's how it should be, ma'am. That's
And that
something
is
that,
how it should be. That is how
yeah.
it should be.
Before we wrap up, I'd love to touch on something closer to home for us. You recently joined Directors Institute, and given the breadth of your leadership experience, that's a journey we're honored to be a part of. So we would love to know, how has your experience been so far with us?
My experience with Director Institute has been very interesting, very satisfying till date, and I have found the course very concise, very precise, and very easy to learn actually. And for someone who is not quite, well into corporate affairs, that is quite easy to learn, very easy to grasp, and it has been a very nice journey. I'm still doing it, of course, and very nice. And I must say, actually mention the employees or your officials of Directors Institute. They have been very encouraging, very helpful at all times. And I found this course, very nice. And I think it has given me a greater idea of how to go about my boardroom roles in future. So quite nice, and keep it up. Very nice.
Lovely, ma'am. Thank you so much for those kind words. And this conversation has truly been a privilege, not just for me, but I'm sure to everyone listening. Your journey, your insights, and your strength as a leader have truly made this episode very special. So, thank you so much once again, ma'am, for taking time out for us and being on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you so much also. And of course, this has been a pleasure to talk with you, to go down memory lane once again, to share my experiences with you. And I hope it resonates well with someone out there who wants to lead with purpose. Thank you so much.
I'm sure it absolutely will, ma'am. And to our audience, thank you for tuning in to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. Until next time, keep learning, keep leading, keep pushing your boundaries, and as always, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.